Hello, hello, Michelle here. So we are back for a new mini training about a topic related to time management struggles. So as I shared in my last video, I wanted to recap this component, especially as we start to kind of get into the flow of these trainings every couple weeks. And then that's my belief about around what time management challenges in general. So time management challenges to me are not just an arrangement struggle, right? There are two issues that kind of bookend this arrangement component, particularly for those who struggle with kind of task overwhelm. And these trainings are going to help start to break down some of those kind of lack of awareness around these pieces and help you start creating balance that you want. The first bookend is core programming, learning why we act the way we do, who taught us that, why we do it. Because without the understanding of how that program came to be when it comes to time management, like and how it's impacting our day, we're going to continue to struggle with kind of the arranging piece. And that's why to-do lists and sticky notes and life hacks and that sort of thing don't always work for the long term for us, right? The second bookend is having a clear direction, right? Only 2% of people have a written personal vision of where they want to go or who they want to be, right? Without a clear direction to guide us, how do we know if we're taking the winding road forward or if we turned and that path never comes back around, right? So every couple of weeks, I will share a story that highlights a component of these pieces, right? To bring the kind of academic component of it kind of to life in reality, right? Because the balancing of these three areas is what eliminates the overwhelm, the anxiety, the feelings of never getting ahead, right? Like all that starts to fade when we have a better understanding and practice across those three areas, right? So today, let's talk about why decision fatigue is behind all of our time management challenges. So one of the habits that I teach in the Do What Matters Most formula workshop is pre-week planning. For most, that process of pre-week planning takes about 20-40 minutes weekly. But what I've found is that for those who are especially task saturated in life, like me, and maybe you need more time to pre-week plan. And so I've been practicing pre-week planning for over 10 months. And I on average, take about 2 hours every single week to plan my Monday through Sunday. I had to let go of the guilt of why it took me so long to do all of that. There was a lot of stuff when it came to like, why is this taking me so long? It shouldn't take me this long to do it. But let's talk, we're going to dive into this in just a moment because I know what you're thinking, like 2 hours, like to plan 7 days. Like you maybe are one of those people that have well-crafted schedules, right? Or maybe you just do maybe some of your anchor items, right? So why does it take so long to plan 7 days? So I'm going to tell you why. And to do so, I need to talk about root vegetables. Please stay with me. You'll see what I mean here. So I want you to imagine that you have over 100 beets and potatoes and carrots, right? And you need to peel them all. You know that this week you need to peel them all, you need to cut them all, cook them all, and you prepare them, right? So what are your options in order to achieve that? Well, the first is to peel them all at once, cook them all at once, or peel them all at once, cut them all at once, cook them all at once, prepare them all at once, right? Or you can peel a few, cut a few, cook a few, prepare a few, right? And you repeat until all 100 of them are done, right? So which do you choose? Most would say the first option. You do them all at once, right? So why am I talking about root vegetables? Well, it's another way to look at time management issues. When we think of time management issues, most will decide what to do, when to do it, how to do it, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 activities at a time, every single day, maybe the night before, right? When they know that they have at least 100 activities they need or want to do in a week. So if you were like I was, this is what scheduling used to look like for me before I learned the big 3 habits. So the first is I would create a very lengthy to-do list of all the things, all the things. Most of those things were work related, professional related, right? And so most of that personal, my personal stuff, I would just kind of like handle as it came up. Oh, the laundry's overflowing, like got to put in a load of laundry. Oh, the dishes, like the sink is full, I need to fill it in. You know what I mean? The second thing I would do is that each day, or sometimes the night before, it would depend on how kind of ahead of things I was. I'd look at that long list, and then I'd look at all the big stuff that I already had on my calendar, whether it's like my physical calendar or my digital calendar, whatever kind of tool I was trying to make work at that particular time. I'd look at the appointments, my meetings, my plans for going out with friends or whatever it was, my kids' stuff, all of it. And then as I'm looking at this list, I would try to do as many things as I could that allowed me to check off the most items on that list, right? And even sometimes, I know we've all done it, You thought about something that you did, but it wasn't listed, so you write it in and then you crossed it off. Yes, we all do that. Outside of that list, yes, there was once in a while if I had a deadline coming, like that was the thing that I would tackle, right? But this is familiar. This is familiar to so many people, that process, right? Well, that process is what is leaving us feeling like we are running on fumes at the end of the night. That feeling of not really getting anything accomplished, even if you ended up crossing out so many things off that list. Right? Why? Why does that happen? Well, for me, I believed checking off the most items on a list was how I could feel productive, when that actually wasn't the result that was happening more often than not. Kind of mind blowing, right? Right. However, I continued to do that process, thinking I just needed to do more of the list. I needed to get to more of the items. I needed to do more work. I needed to stay up later. I needed to get up earlier. I needed to do these things instead of hanging out with my kids or with my husband, with my friends or other family, right? I needed to get more of my list done. But time after time, no matter how much time I tried to dedicate to doing the things on my list, I was still overwhelmed most of the time and felt like there was always more to do. This is the trap of the to-do list. It's a thing. It wasn't just me, it's everyone. It's so many people who operate from solely a to-do list. So why does that process feel so overwhelming and exhausting, right? Well, making big and small decisions is mentally exhausting, right? Our brains need to they need to think, they need to feel, they need to take action, they need to see the result. And then they just repeat, 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 repeat unless there's something in there that changes that trajectory, right? Whether it's a small task or a big one, that is the process that your brain goes through. And that's task saturation because there's so many components to even just small things, right? For example, deciding what's for dinner tonight is not simply deciding that you will have burgers, right? So those of you who come up to the end of the night and have food in the fridge to actually cook, but still end up ordering takeout, you know exactly what I mean by this, right? It's not simply just cooking the food, right? You have to consider how much time you have to prep it to cook those burgers, right? Wait, do you have all the ingredients? Do you have all the seasonings to actually make them? What sides do you want with them? How long does it take to cook and season, do all the stuff with that? Do you have enough propane in the for the grill, or are you going to need to pan cook them, right? Do you have the right condiments you want? Are those condiments expired or are they still good, right? There are so many little components to every small decision too, right? Task saturation is having so many things you need to decide on and keep in mind that your brain is no longer able to process it all. It gets tired, right? And that's actually why you create the to-do list in the first place. The to-do list is perpetuating the overwhelm, the stress, the anxiety. And because of this overwhelm, stress, and anxiety, we often procrastinate or do not important things to soothe our tired minds, right? What are some of those things? We scroll social media mindlessly. One of my things that sucks me in are reels and Facebook videos. Oh my goodness. When I find myself in there, I was like, I need to backtrack. I need to get out. Or telling Netflix, yes, I am still watching, right? Or cleaning out your email inbox of either junk mail or whatever it is, right? Our brain is looking for a break from that overwhelm. So it goes to those areas, the mindless, unimportant stuff. We go to procrastinating, right? That exhaustion is decision fatigue. I had it bad. I get it bad sometimes. And I've been practicing the 3 habits that help me eliminate that for over 10 months now, right? My husband had it bad too. So what I do, instead of deciding on small things in my personal and professional life day to day, I choose to front load as much of my decision making as possible into my pre-week planning time, right? So in 2 hours, I'm actually using less time than I would have if I had waited to decide on those items throughout the week, right? Because I keep my mind in a state of needing to decide, right? Instead of it bouncing around from thing to thing to thing during the course of everyday life each week. I do this pre-week planning for all areas of my life, like big stuff, teeny tiny stuff, like, of course, with my work things, but also with my personal life, like when I'm going to transfer the laundry to the dryer, when I'm going to do the dishes, when I'm going to prep lunch, when I will do any activity, any personal activity, whether it's a home contribution or if it's time with my kids or my husband, right? Doing so has helped me have calendar integrity, which is actually just like doing what I had planned, right? Mind you, I am mentally exhausted after my pre-week planning sessions. Seriously, right? But when I walk into Monday every week, the majority of my decisions have been made. I've accounted for how long it takes me to accomplish things, because that's another component. Overestimating how long things take to do. That's how well-crafted schedules fall apart every single week. That's a significant piece of it, right? So by having the majority of my decisions made walking into a Monday, I have so much more brain capacity to be significantly more present with my work, with my husband, with my kids, my family, my friends. And I never feel like I'm forgetting something, right? Because we've all been there. We're sitting there playing with our kids, and all we can think about is that work stuff. Like you need to write it down, or you need to like text yourself the, you know what I mean? You don't feel that anymore because you've already thought out that process. That state of mind allows me in particular to handle kind of the actual urgent, important things that come up each week with more calm, with more clarity and ease. When that stuff used to happen before, I'd get angry, I'd overreact. I'm a true Enneagram 8. uh, because I have made a plan of what can realistically get done in that week, right? The patience these habits that I teach invite you to create for yourself is amazing, right? Like it took time and practice, I'm not gonna lie, right? It takes time, practice, consistent effort. But there is so much to share about the nuances of pre-week planning, and that's why I'm in the time management space these days, so that I can share and teach these processes and these habits to those who are looking for something different, right? So Pre-week planning is habit number 3 of the 3 habits I practice and teach in my Do What Matters Most formula workshop. As we come up on the new year, if you are interested in learning these 3 habits to help you with your time management struggles, I have one more workshop this year for 2021 on December 2nd from 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific. It's my Do What Matters Most formula workshop. To register for that program, head to themini.balancedblueprint.com/2021. The link is also in my profile to learn more and register. And it is a free program with the purchase of a planner that was designed around the 3 habits. So I'll see you all in a couple weeks for the next training, and I hope to see you at the December 2nd workshop. Thanks so much.